Okay. Awesome. So today's group call, we're going to be covering step 2 or the second training installment on the highest converting cold outreach method for local business leads. So we're basically going to be covering a full in-depth cold DM course. So we'll probably I'll go in and discuss this for probably 15-20 minutes. See if you guys have any questions, and then we can even do some examples together if you guys are stuck or if you need ideas, right? So we'll go ahead and get the old whiteboard out. And any questions you guys have, like I said, seriously, do not hesitate to interrupt me, even if it's not about what we're talking about, okay? So we're going to do cold outreach to local businesses. And of course, that's with the in the service space, right? So when we are looking at cold outreach to these local businesses, we want to make sure that we are, number one, realistic about what this process looks like. And then number two, we understand how to improve our performance along this process, right? So when we're doing cold outreach, we need to make sure, and let's see if I can do little shapes because that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, perfect. So we're doing cold outreach to local businesses. We need to make sure, number one, social. Oh, nice. Social media has to be in place. Okay. Social media has to be in place. That's in the training we had before. Okay. So we're going to put that over here. Social media has to be in place. Here's why social media has to be in place. Number one, the focus is relationship, not revenue. What you're going to see a lot repeated through the trainings is that it is, I'm going to use certain analogies that just correlate really well, just in my opinion. So, number one is going to be dating, and number two is going to be fitness. These are usually things that most people can understand because most people have been in some kind of a dating atmosphere or environment, and then most humans are in human bodies, right? So, you can understand fitness to some degree. Uh, Whether or not you're in shape or not doesn't matter. You can understand the idea of, you know, weightlifting or stretching or cooling down or cardio versus weights, right? So these are two really, really simple analogies. So the focus is relationship, not revenue. Here's what I mean by that. If your goal is just to go to the bar and take people home for the night, uh, odds are you're probably not going to have the best quality individuals, right? Let's say it goes well. Odds are it's probably going to be a one-time thing, if it even does go well, and if it's not like a really awkward, horrible experience. Okay. If you are having an actual relationship with somebody, the fruit of that relationship is going to be physical intimacy, right? So if your goal is to have physical intimacy, there's a better way than just trying to pick up people late at night at a bar. Because if you're in a relationship, it's going to be more consistent, deeper connection, learn what each other likes, right? I'm not going to get inappropriate, but again, trying to use that analogy. A lot of guys in the DMs, they're trying to close for the night. And because they're doing that, the transparency is very evident. And the intention is very transparent. It's very evident to the client, to the lead, to the prospect. Therefore, they're going to pull back, right? And again, if we're using the example of, you're a guy, you're going up to a girl at the bar, if it's very evident what you're trying to do, odds are it's not going to go your way. And if it does, it's probably not going to be the highest quality uh, interaction, right? It's not going to be a high quality lead. So again, the focus is relationship, not revenue. This only works if social media is in place. Okay. So here's what I'm going to say about this. This only works if social media is in place. The reason being, if you are rejected, you push them to social media, right? This is the ultimate downsell. So what I'm doing, and you're going to see this as we move forward, is I'm making sure that you understand that even if you are really, really bad at outbound DMs, you can still convert them even in the DMs. So let's look at some numbers very quickly, just so I can illustrate my point. If we take Alex Hormozzi's numbers that he gives us, so let's say you reach out to 100 people, and I'm using the number 100 so we can look at percentages. What he estimates is that depending on your message, he's going to say that about 20% are going to open the message, okay, and reply. So this is going to be open. And we'll say open and reply. So I'm going to do OAR, or open and reply, okay? Now down here, you're going to have your number of conversion. So what he'll say is he'll say something like, let's say, 10% of those that open and reply, you're able to convert. Okay. So 100, 20% of 100 is 20, 10% of that is going to be 2, right? Now, let's go back and let's say that you convert, because you're brand new, a whopping 0%. What is 20? What is 0% of 20? It is 0. So let me ask you guys, is this a waste of time to have to convert 0 people in an outbound DM? What do you think? Yes or no? And you can put it in the chat. You can come off mute and say yes or no. But what do you think? Do you think that this is a waste of time? Mateo says no. Anybody agree or disagree? No. Okay, great. So this is not a waste of time. Why is this not a waste of time? Well, number one, we can try to improve this, right? Because this tells us where our bottleneck is. Our bottleneck is here, right? However, let's not skip over the fact that we had 20% open and reply. So again, if you are absolutely the worst outbound DM salesman or woman ever, you can take this number and you can push them to social media. Wow. That is why social media has to be put in place for the ultimate downsell. That's why we covered social media last month and we're going into sales and outbound outreach this month, because if you go into outreach and I say, oh, push them to social media, and you go, well, I don't know how to do that. Now you do. Now there's no excuse. So what's going to happen with social media? With social media, and this is the only part this is the longest I'll talk about it. Social media is going to have 7 to 11 touch points. In your social media, you're doing hybrid content. So it's about you. So people see you're a person and they're actually willing to open your content. There's case studies, screenshots of analytics and screenshots of happy clients, and then call to actions in your stories. And then you're posting no less than 3 times a week, if you can every day, but no less than 3 times a week. It doesn't have to be video every time. It doesn't have to be a crazy edited TikTok. It doesn't have to be a crazy YouTube video, but you want to do, ideally, you're doing minimum 2 long form a month, ideally 2 long form a week. Don't hear 2 a week and say, I'm going to jump in that. Start with 2 a month. Short form, whether it's video, text, whatever, ideally it's every day, at the minimum 3 times a week. So what I'm telling you is 12 pieces of short form content a month at the minimum, and 2 long form. And I have trainings on both of those. Again, I'm not going to cover that because I don't want to go too much into social media. The whole purpose, again, it is so that when you are starting out and you are converting 0 people, no, it's not because you're cooked. It's, you're done for. It's never going to go well. It is because you're starting out. Can anybody raise your hand and confidently tell me that you came out of your mother's womb knowing how to do cold DMs? No, right? Myself included. So there's this stigma around, if I'm doing it, there's anxiety because now it's my first 100, I got to get it, or I'm so nervous I'm going to mess it up. This takes a lot of pressure off because, again, the focus is relationship, not revenue. If I tell you, hey, go in that meeting and you had better close, that's a lot of pressure. And anybody watching who's like, I'm a sales pro, congratulations, we do not care. We're trying to make this as practical as humanly possible, right? So this is why social media needs to be put in place. Now that we understand social media is put in place, now that we understand these numbers, let's get rid of this. And now we need to understand in chronological order. Let's go back to assuming just very, very conservative numbers. And these are numbers that Hormozy says that are expected usually of beginners. Okay. So I'm not saying these are the numbers. I'm not trying to inflate results. I'm not saying you're going to go out there, you're going to be a DM king or queen. All I'm saying is 20% open and reply. Statistically speaking, on average, once you start getting into your groove, before that, use social media and after that. But statistically speaking, you got a 20% open and reply rate, and then roughly a 5 to 15%. We're going to call this a close rate, but usually closing, it depends on what you're trying to do. It could be you get them to sign up for your offer. It could be you push them to a sales call. So whatever your focus you're doing, we're going to call this a 10% close rate. Okay. Your goal now is how can we do the following? How can we increase this open and reply rate? And how can we increase this close rate? And so let's look at the different situations, right? You're good, Hollis. Have it going. So let's look at the different situations. Now, if we can have, let's say we have 100 because we still have, using the percent idea. Now, what we're going to see is let's keep this rate the exact same. Let's say this is still 10%. And you guys already know where I'm going with this. But let's say we can move this and this goes up to 30%, right? Now we're closing instead of 2 people, we just went to 3 people. So what this tells us is that if we can improve our initial message and get an open and reply, the more open and replies we can get, statistically speaking, we'll be able to, if we remain at roughly a 10% conversion, we'll be able to increase our conversion. Now let's look at one more scenario. 100. Let's say the conversion is still 20. And let's say we go from a 10% close to a 20% close. Now, 100, 20% open and reply. That gives you 20 people. 20% of that is going to give you what? Going to give you 4 sales. So we're still moving up with higher conversions. So this tells us that if we increase our open and reply rate, then we're going to get more closing. And if we increase just our sales game, we're going to get more closings. And if we increase both, well, I already used red. If we increase both 100, and let's say this is now at 30%, and this gives us what? 30 people or 30 people opening and replying. So 30 open and reply. And I'll do this with a 0 so you don't get confused. And then let's say we're converting 20%. And that gives us 6. So this is essentially what we're trying to accomplish here. So we understand just from this very quick illustration, if we come back to our little notes here, and you guys don't need to take notes because I'll repost this call. But now we understand that improving the first message equals more clients, right? And we understand that improving the sales conversation equals more clients. And doing both equals a lot of clients. Anybody lost so far on why this is important? Really, really simple so far, right? Nothing, this isn't anything like, we're not getting into like the rocket science yet. Awesome. So now the question becomes, and let me actually change this formatting because it looks goofy. Now the question becomes, well, how do we do this? Finding and closing clients. And we'll actually make that its own sentence or its own little shape. finding and closing. Any questions before we start going? Any questions so far before we start moving into actual ways to do this? Great. So from here, we need to quickly find and vet clients, send an agitating or direct DM, inbound, close, or push to sales meeting. Would you guys agree or disagree that this would be a successful DM conversation? In my opinion, this would be a win in my book. I want to make sure, I'm only asking because I want to make sure that you guys aren't like, well, this isn't what I need to do. All right. So, how do we do this process? So, step one, quickly find and vet clients. What are some ways that we can find and vet clients? Find and vet. Where are you guys finding? Okay, so we got Facebook, and we got Google. Probably you're probably referring to like Google Business Profile, I bet. Yeah, great. So we can even just go off of these two, right? And we could even do like Facebook. We could do like IG, right? Actually, I want to do IG separately because it's a different game. So, which one do you all want me to start with? Anyone in particular or not really? Facebook? Okay, we'll start with Facebook. Facebook, you need to do the following items. Again, this is just finding and vetting. Then we'll go into the actual messages. Number one, local recommendations. You're going to go on Facebook and you're going to look up groups where you are essentially they're strictly local. They're not local to the industry. They're strictly local. And I wonder if let me see. I'm going to try to share my screen. This will click for everyone. And I'm going to even show you guys one. Somebody shout me out a city. I can do a city near me if that helps. Boston. Okay, cool. Boston recommendations. We're going to go to group. Excuse me. Boston restaurant recommendations. Recommendations near me. Boston Seaport and Fort Community Board. Boston recommendations. This is a group for recommending businesses and professionals to others in Boston area. Let's see if it's a public group. No, it's private. And you probably have to answer questions like what you're doing in there, right? But all you have to do it'll be like by the way, the questions that they use to block you will be like name a city in Boston. Which one of these cities in Boston? It's very easy. I know because I'm in a few. And you will see here's Marlborough, Maine. I don't know how close that is to Boston. I'm not gonna try to embarrass myself, right? But look at this. Let's see. Let's see. These people look like they're all looking for jobs from Amazon. Let me see one where I can show you one that I'm in right now. Lynchburg recommendations. And so look, you'll see things like this, right? Best place to get a good used vehicle. And then they'll tell you who to work with and who not to work with. People who bowl, where do you start? Start with a ball. That's funny. Um, Is there a Facebook group in Lynchburg, Rexburg that allows people to advertise their services? Mahalo. It's like, okay, cool. I'd figure out what services they're in, right? It's probably in the comments somewhere. Best place to get dog nails clipped and filed. Look at this. They're recommending groups and they have a page. So if this is my industry, I'm going to go right here and then I can start my vetting process. And look, there's no new posts. So what are you guys doing? Like, that's a really easy way, or I guess that's group post. I'm being dumb. Um, no contribution. Let's see, view profile. There we go. Okay. I was about to say. So you can help them make content that, or if that's not something you're trying to do, you could look at what you offer and see what they're doing, right? So I'm sorry, but this person's just going to be our victim for today. Pop open their website. That's a lot of ping. That's a rough website. Yeah, it's really bad. So you could have this could be part of your outreach where you're like, we'll cover the message in a little bit, but this could be a way that you find people, right? And again, this is not just for dog grooming. This is for any local group. This is just one that I'm in. And again, I just had to answer questions to get in there, right? Any good restaurants in the area that serve lobster are not named Red Lobster. So again, if you're working in restaurants, that's a big one right here, right? A gas pressure washer and have it serviced. Let's look at the comments. Northern Tool, Flying Wrench is coming to my house. So these are all people. Flying Wrench, there's two recommendations, right? James C. Davis, so that could be an individual. Maybe he's not licensed or maybe something's not going well. Let's go right here, search. So let's say HVAC. Look at this. 79 comments. So I can come in here and I can find ones and I can try to reach out to them. Because if they're being recommended, they're probably good at what they do, which means you can probably get them some. Look at this Freedom Heating and Air, like that's going crazy. You can probably help them get some reviews, right? So just being in local groups and joining as many local groups as you can and looking, and you can just scour through those recommendations, right? Let's go. Let me actually open Facebook back up. And this is, by the way, when if you ever want to laugh, like go ask Imram about when it was the first day I was in Florida after I drove down, and he was like, how fast can you find a lawn care client? And I'll show you exactly what I did and how I closed. I sent 4 messages to 4 people and I closed one of them. All I did was come up here and we'll use HVAC just because I know Mateo's in HVAC. HVAC pages, and then these are all pages for HVAC. These are all leads. So you can initiate the conversation, push them to social media at the very, very least, right? So let's try to find one. One follower, that's tough. Last post was like a year and a half ago. Probably not too alive. All right, this is a pretty recent one, right? Look at the website. I bet you it's gonna be oh, it's actually not too bad. Not great. And so from here, I can start basically working this lead, right? I'm gonna start doing my marketing audit and I'm gonna start basically prepping what I want to say to them. And again, all you would do for the marketing audit is you can copy this, you go to a tool called builtwith.com, you put it in, you click lookup, and now you know everything they're using. And you can even see, so you can see how they're using all these things. I guarantee you they paid somebody to set this up, but I wonder if that's all they did, just a setup and nothing else, right? And so then I can even, I don't know what is going on here. Then I can even find the name. So what was the name again? And let's just go to just straight Google and let's look for the Google business profile. Ooh, I'm not even seeing it. It looks like it's coming up in some places, but I don't even see a Google business profile. So I wonder if they even have one. So there you go. That's gonna be a really big thing that they're missing, right? And I could be wrong, but I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible to not bore you guys to death. But you see how fast I found someone who didn't have a Google business profile, right? And so from here, we can essentially go into well, we actually we found a problem that they're having, right? And so that's going to be what we use as ammunition. Where Okay, yeah, it did say my whiteboard. Sweet. All right. So from Facebook, we just did local recommendations, and then we just did industry, then not I keep saying group, then pages, right? And so you can also, depending on your industry, you can look for groups. I know for HVAC, it's not great because it's more blue collar. Anything blue collar is not going to have too many groups because they're just like absolutely sick of online marketers, which I get. But like you'd be surprised. Check your industry for groups as well. But that I'd probably put that lower towards the bottom of the totem pole, right? Now groups is different. This would be not just groups because local recommendations is group. This would be like niche groups, right? But the easiest thing to do is just go there, search up the industry. They tag themselves on the profiles, right? Or on the pages, not profiles. They tag themselves. And then we'll get into like how to message them, right? IG, same thing. Search niche, follow 200 to 250 accounts, DM anyone who follows back. Can anybody tell me why they would follow you back?
There's some sort of interest because they probably looked at you.
Right, which means what has to be in place for them to have that interest? It's the two words you guys hate when I say
Social media.
social media. So that's why social media's got to be put in place, especially on something like IG, because that's going to be where they follow back. And it can't listen when you have it. I would. This is something you can test. I wouldn't put like we scale HVAC because then you follow them and they know exactly where you DM them, right? You could just be like something along those lines. You want it to be clear that you work with them, but you don't want it to be like we specifically scale HVAC, like we are DMing you to scale your company, right? That's going to be a turn. At least for me, that's a turn off, right? But so just trying to find a way to phrase it. Maybe don't use the word scale because everybody hates that. But that's all you're doing on IG. It's very simple. Google Business Profile. This is really simple too. Oops. What is going on here? Let me zoom in so people can read. Search industry plus location. So I would search HVAC Boston and then HVAC Memphis, HVAC DC, HVAC, and you're just going through all the cities. Look at locals that's nearby cities, going through all of it, right? Look for, um, I would say profiles that match your avatar. What do I mean by that? Not everybody in this group is offering just websites, right? So if they don't have a website and you offer just websites, then yeah, that matches. But if you're looking for somebody who you want them to have a website and everything already put in place so you can go into client acquisition models like, more aggressive SEO, PPC, whatever, it doesn't make sense to pitch somebody ads if they don't have a website because that probably tells you how low their budget is, right? So look for these profiles, and let's say you see a beautifully optimized profile, then you can uh, try to find them on social, and I'll put optional because it really depends on what you're trying to offer. And then on social, you can see, especially on Facebook, you can see if they're running ads or not, right? You can find that kind of information. So look for profiles that match your avatar, try to find them on social, optional. And then from here, I like to initiate via social because again, it gives you that downsell. However, you can always attempt to cold call. Okay. And we're going to cover some cold calling really aggressively over the summer, but we'll cover a little bit over this month as well. Now, the reason we initiate over social is because we can do the ultimate downsell, right? If they don't have it, then you can attempt a cold call. Here's what I will say. If they're not on social, and this isn't for HVAC, this probably isn't true. For trades, it's typically not true. For every other business, if they're on Google Business and they don't have social media, they're probably not going to want to do that. And I'm not saying that you have to offer them social media, but usually social media is an indicator that they are trying, right? Like it's easier to try to coach somebody who's already in the gym versus somebody who doesn't even go to the gym, right? So if they're on social media and they have a Google business profile, it's not looking great, but they're trying. That tells me that they're trying. And that tells me that they would be more open to it versus somebody who's like, I'm not touching social media. I don't want that lizard man, Zark Muckerberg touching my stuff, right? So just look at those things. I don't want you to over psychoanalyze and then, it slows you down versus anything, but just look, you will see as you're doing it certain key indicators and kind of get an idea of the correlation. So finding them is really not tough. It is not difficult. Any questions on finding them? You will see what ads they're running on the Facebook profile. I mean, the page. I keep saying profile. You can actually find that. There's actually a way to do that where you can see what ads they're running. And I'll try to share a video on that, but you can, yeah, it's actually not too difficult where you can go to their page. You can see if they're running ads. And that's why the Facebook recently, like they had an update where profiles could start running ads, like business profiles. And so that's a new update. I don't know if you can see those, but people aren't making profiles for their business. They're making it pages, right? And pages, you can see what ads they're running. As for the PPC or anything, if you search their name and there's no PPC campaigns or anything, that's a good indicator. If there's no local service ads, that's a good indicator. And again, most of them, they're usually not doing that. If you search HVAC in their city, so if you're like, I want to see if this guy's running, ads, here's where they're located, and let's say they're doing HVAC, then you'd search HVAC their city. If they're not popping up as ranking for a very basic, simple keyword, then they're probably not doing it, right? There's other ways to look, but I'm just giving you guys the simplest, fastest ways. So I'm put this box in red. Absolutely never scrape leads. Please don't do this. All you're going to do when you scrape leads, you are forced to use leads. You're forced to do cold email. And if you're scraping those leads, everybody else is scraping those leads. Okay. So you're basically, you're going to be like the 12th guy at the bar trying to go up to the same girl. The other 11 guys didn't get it. Maybe you will. I'm not saying you won't, but let's be smart and efficient. And again, this is going to cost money. What I'm covering right here is all free. Put a big old green. This is free. All of this is free. This is not free. So not only is this less effective, but it's not free. Now, we find and vet. Next, we want to initiate the conversation. If I could spell today. So how do we initiate the conversation? First, let me ask, are you guys having issues with this, or is this going really well, or are you guys like completely lost in the sauce? Because again, I want to focus these calls on what are actually gonna give you value. I can go through it pretty quickly, or I can take my time. Okay. So someone said they're getting a lot of read, don't reply. RDRs, read, don't reply. So number one, don't beat around the bush, but don't act like a client. Don't ever initiate a conversation like, oh, do you do this service? Because they're going to think you're a client and that's going to piss them off when you say, JK, you're not making money. I want to take your money. Don't beat around the bush. I had somebody DM me and they were like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, not much. What's up with you? And he's like, oh, nothing. Just wanted to chat. No, I'm not doing that. I I'm not just sitting here to chat to some random person, right? For you guys, it's different because we actually have substantive conversations and we actually have deeper talks. But for random people I don't know, no, we're not buddies. I don't know you, you don't know me, right? It's very different versus being in a paid community versus just DMing, right? So don't beat around the bush. Don't act like a client. So you need to be direct, but not obnoxious. So when you are direct, the easiest way to do this is you need to make it about them. even if you are making statements where you are trying to, convince them to buy or, convince them to follow you, it needs to be made about them. And you can do that via questions as I'll show you. Okay. But you need to make it about them. Has anybody been on a date or has anybody had a friend who all they do is talk about themselves 24/7? It's not a fun person to hang out with. And usually it's a pretty common one. Like if you speak to any woman about like the worst dates they've been on, and like you'll be flabbergasted. And like they'll just tell you about like the worst dates ever and like how these guys speak and how they make it all about them. Like it doesn't do well. You have to make it about the client, not about yourself. So what you don't want to do is you're not going to make I statements. You're not going to say, "Oh, I do this, I do this, I do this, I can do this, right? I do that, I do this." No, I'm really good at this. Hire me for this, and that. No, it needs to be made about them. So that's why when you're finding the clients, you are finding and vetting them because you want to understand what do they have and what do they not have? Because that is going to tell you who to actually initiate the conversation with, right? If they have a website and it's good and you sell websites, would you start a conversation with them? No. If they have a website and it's bad, or they don't have a website and you do websites, it's great. If they have low reviews and you do review generation, great. If they have the most reviews and you do review generation, why? Why would you reach out to them? If you're trying to run Facebook ads and their ad campaign is crushing and you can check on their meta page, why would you reach out to them? If their ad campaign is not localized, so you're getting ads for HVAC in Tennessee and they're in New York or California, that's a really easy way to be like, hey, you're not localized, right? That initiate a conversation. So that's where that vetting comes in and you need to make it about them. Now, when you make it about them, there's two main ways. You could say three, but I'm going to say two. You can say agitate, direct value, and you could say connect. I don't like connect. I'm not a fan of connect. So connect would be, I'll even get rid of connect and I'll say direct offer. Connect would be like, hey, we're in the same community, like wanted to see if you were interested in this. I'm not a fan, and the reason for that is because that was a lot of people use that play in 2021, 22, and then in 23 you started seeing people saying like, do not spam our members or we will remove you, right? So I'm not a fan of Connect. I wouldn't use it myself. So let's look at agitate, direct value, direct offer. Anybody want to take a guess as to what these are? Agitate through questions. So an example would be, and somebody, Danny, you said you were doing SEO, right? Let's say you're
Yeah.
pivoting. Let's say you're pivoting into more Google Business Profile optimization, right? So you could say something like, here let's do an example together. Danny, give me an industry you like working with and a random city.
Tree service in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Great. Tree services, Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's go to the map pack. Let's pop this up. So 4.7, 138 reviews or 38 reviews. They're number one, 25 years in business. Yeah, these guys are probably crushing. Let's go down. 4.7, 150, 140, 140 plus years in business. That's crazy. Um, I wonder if that's accurate or not, but let's see. So these are all doing pretty well, right? Let's scroll down to somebody who's maybe not doing so hot. And if you're wondering why some are not as high as others, like if you wonder why 4.8 is above 4.9, it's all proximity to wherever I put Charlotte, North Carolina, right? But I don't want to go to, let's go rating. Let's go sort by, no, it's fine. We'll just go to them. So this one has no website, right? So we probably their SEO is not great. And but probably by adding a website, it could increase how this ranking does, right? Because if they have the website, then maybe it's more optimized, they get more clicks, it's going to increase, right? So this
Mhm.
could be an easy one to reach out to. There's no there's no website, so it might be harder to find them, but what we can do is we can copy simple stump. Let's go to Facebook. Let's search them up. There they are. And now we can DM them right here. See how fast that was?
Yep. And they do have a website.
And it's not linked.
Mhm.
Holy cow. So I bet this website's going to be terrible.
Unless it's back to their Facebook page or something. Nope.
Not even secure. Oh, what is this? What is this?
They
That's
didn't renew
terrible.
it.
That's terrible. So there you go. So potential client for you right there if you want.
Well, I can buy the domain name and let them keep sending me customers.
That'd be devious, but yeah, you could. Here's another one. State and tree services. Check this out. And that's a good sign that they have the Facebook because they probably just quit. They probably like it's not worth it, or I had a bad experience, or I don't know what I'm doing, right? So this one maybe not. Let's go to pages. So this one probably not. So because they don't have the Facebook, I'm not saying they're a terrible lead, don't work with them. I'm just saying they might not be the best lead quality because they are just here and they're not trying elsewhere, right? So this one might be a one where if you do want to try to reach out to them, it might be a cold call, right? And I'll give you a little quick idea for that. And you don't have to say I have to skip websites, but for example, Danny, I'm gonna keep picking on you if that's cool. Is that all
That's
right?
fine.
Danny, 7 years in business. How many reviews do you see here?
15.
Okay, do you think they've had 15 clients in 7 years?
Nope.
How many do you think they had more, less, or the same?
They should have had more.
So that tells you what's missing.
Reputation management.
Reputation management. Let's pop up on the website. Anybody want to take a guess what this is built with? I'm gonna guess
Wix.
GoDaddy or Wix. Oh, this is a great example. This is a great, I'm so excited right now. You guys are gonna see how much of a nerd I am. So let's go to built with. I'm gonna act like I didn't see what I saw first. Gravity form, so it's gonna be WordPress. God, that's a terrible WordPress website. I hope they don't see this because they're gonna be upset. What do you think I saw at the bottom right here?
The company that designed it.
Bingo. This is what people will do for backlinks. They will put the name in here because they think they're gonna get like they're gonna get clients from this. That's terrible. Let me see. This is gonna be the same. Bingo. So check this out. What does that mean? The
Out of
design
business.
company, the design company that built this is out of business, so they don't have somebody updating this and helping them with it. So just from that, how long do you think that just took me to look at that whole website, look at the pull it up, built with, and look at the client? How long did that just take me? What was that, like
2
30
minutes.
seconds?
Yeah.
2 minutes?
At
I can now,
most.
I can now DM them, right? I can now DM them and be like, it looks like bingo, 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 bingo. They'll be like, how the heck did you know that? So you see what I'm saying? That when you're doing that light digital audit, I just found it tells you a story, right? And that sounds like so nerdy and ridiculous, but that just told me a whole story. Looks like you guys hired a Charlotte web design company, Shadow One Creative. Is that right? Yeah. Are they out of business? Yeah. Who's doing your website now? And look when this was built. 2018. How outdated do you think this thing is? I mean, it looks outdated. I don't have to tell you guys that. Look, tree services. So they do have optimized pages, which is nice. That's not terrible. It's not great. And then if you have an SEO tool, which Danny, what SEO tools do you like using?
Um, Ahrefs.
Yeah. Ahrefs, SEMrush, Moz, whatever tools you're using, you throw this in there, which has a free SEO audit tool, and you're not going to spam it to them, but you're going to reach out to them on Facebook. Let's go to Facebook because people really don't understand. Like these guys they're always on social media somewhere, and I'm just doing Facebook, right? You guys can go on Instagram. I haven't even checked Instagram pages. So they're not here. They could be on they might be on Facebook or Instagram then. And here's another way you can search that. You can just do this. We could go back there. Oh, here it is, Facebook. Oh, the page is private. That's not good. So he doesn't even realize his page is private. Let's see. This could be him on LinkedIn. Let's see if this is one. Maybe this is it. I don't even know what this is. This could be an additional client, right? So that's my point is it's really not difficult to find based on what you need. And then depending on how advanced your services are, would just require more or less vetting, right? So no website, if you're doing website offers, yeah, it's really quick. But if you're doing more SEO, then of course that's going to require a little bit more vetting, right?
Hmm.
So let's go back to the whiteboard. So agitate through questions. So when you're agitating through questions, you would essentially find something that is specific to their situation and you would ask questions about it. So the guy who had the website company, I'd message them and be like, "Hey, I saw so and so designed your website. Or did they close down? Did they shut down? I know, like it looks like they haven't updated your website since 2018. Like, are you handling that yourself now?" So just get right to the point. Okay. Let's say direct value. Direct value is going to be, "Hey, I noticed this is a problem that you're having. Here's what you could do to fix it," and just tell them 100% free what to do to fix it. And then you'll see what happens next. But then you initiate the sales conversation. Direct value. Tell them something that will make a difference. SEO is really easy. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but you have lower reviews. You could really easily, reach out to these people and ask for a review. Just send them your Google review link. And even you could even automate this entire process. I have software that could do it, but you could automate this whole process, and that's going to have you rank and get way more clients for free. Hope that helps. They open, read, don't respond. Hit them back up a day later. Hey, here's my free social media. I make content on this stuff all the time that can help you scale your business. You never have to speak to me ever. And then they follow the social, and then stories, testimonials, value. Stories, testimonials, value. Stories, testimonial, personality, value. Direct offer. Ready? I notice, so we're going to have a statement. I notice you don't have agitating, we can say agitating, how do I want to phrase this? I'll just say agitating point. So like you don't have a website, you don't have a review generation, you don't have X, Y, and Z. This is gonna sound weird, but I just built one for you for free. Want to see? And then you can send that over via Loom, or you can try to push them to a call. Can I send a cold DM example for review? Yeah, yeah. Put it in your chat. I'll review it. Yeah. So cold direct offer, and then I'll even add a fourth one. And this is kind of like it kind of encompasses all three, but just jump into conversation. This is why I don't like the connecting. I don't like saying like, "Oh, I've known you, like we're here, we're there." Just jump into a conversation, especially in the blue collar space. That might do better than these kind of questions. Blue collar space just be like, "You don't have a website, you know, I built one for you. You want to check it out?" No, hey, hi, how you doing? Nothing. Uh, Mateo, do you want me to read this out loud, or do you want me to not read it out loud? Okay, cool. Let's see. How the heck do I zoom in on this?
Are you doing this all in one paragraph or waiting till they respond back to you?
So these are three different approaches, right? But I would do this. I would pick one of these, and I would split test depending on the industry because it's going to change. So like, let's look at let me see. I'm going to cover up the person he's speaking to, so that way we don't expose anybody. I'm being dumb. Here we go. All right, so he starts off with, "Do you have a website?" This is the typical one from the training. He says, "No, I'm working on it. Not to be that guy, but I could build you one for free. Just pay the software fees." Did it for our good friend Rich, and he's seen an increase in call volume from his website, social media, and Google Business. I can explain more if you're interested. If not, no worries. Just saw your profile and you do great work. Okay, I see. Who is Rich? Where are you located? He went straight into the guy from Wanted, right? Liam Neeson. One of our clients we built a relationship with over time, and we're located in Toronto but work remotely. Free website and Google Business setup. Sends a video. This sounds amazing. I have a fear of doing business with people online. There's just so many misleading information, especially for me, a new business owner, but I'm very impressed with that video and I really want a website to attract. No problem. You're like me. It's hard to trust people. Great. That's exactly what I would say. And that's another reason why it's so good to have your personal image or profile pic being you. So that's a really good response. It's hard to trust people online without actually seeing them face to face. Are you free for a phone call? Maybe I can walk you through everything. Before I go ahead and delete the website, it's safe to say you don't want to increase your visibility. Good, thanks. Okay, best of luck. So this is where he just stopped replying. Let's see what's going on. So I would say in this part, and again, this is all speculation. So this is something I want to clarify really quickly. This is all my best guess from my experience. Anybody telling you you should have done this, you should have said that, and I see a lot of those sales videos where they're like, you did this wrong. Sometimes there's gonna be times where I'm like, oh, you messed up. You didn't. There's something I would tweak here, but again, this is all theoretical, right? So if anybody's telling you exactly here's what to do, they probably have not been in sales at all or very long. So I would have said here like he's telling you that he has that trust issue, that insecurity. I would address that and I would give him a safe, I would basically try to comfort that insecurity, right? So you can say, listen, like, I don't know you, you don't know me. I would check out my social media. You can see that this is what I do. I do it well. I have a bunch of content on it. At the end of the day, and I told you guys this in the beginning of the call, right? At the end of the day, don't trust anybody. Stick to your guns. That's why I create the website for free and I offer the first 3 days for free because that will build trust between us. And as you get clients, you'll see that I know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, I'll fire myself. You don't even have to fire me. I'll fire myself. So that would be maybe what I try a little different in that situation. What you could do, I'm guessing when you sent the Loom video, it was like a review of their website. Just put, let's see. Yeah, and some other things. So I would want to tie in the fact that remember B2B, everything B2B is what? It's making they have to make money in the B2B offer every single time. So I would tie into the fact as well that you are going to um have a way to make them money. So the website doesn't really make them money, but optimizing the Google business or adding in the review generation will scale them up, and that's going to translate into actual dollars. The website will help convert. So now that you have the website linked in the Google business, it will help convert, right? So having things that translate into, excuse me, translate into actual money, right? And that's going to have them tie in a little bit more. And that's where you can say, listen, if you don't land a client before we do this, then yeah, you can get rid of me because if it doesn't pay for itself, then 30 days is more than enough time for us to find at least one person, right? Somebody asked, what would you charge for the website build if they took you up on the offer? So are you building it in high level or WordPress? And how many clients do you have? Let's start with this. How many clients do you have right now? Or in this theoretical situation, you don't have to say how many you have right now. Are we saying like zero? Are we saying like I've got 30, 20, 30? Okay, say zero. Okay, cool. Zero. You're going to build it in high level. You're going to do it for 100% free, and you're going to give them a 30-day free trial. And this is a very, very aggressive approach. The reason being is that you can grab and bring on as many people as possible. And that is going to allow you to get to your first 5K roughly. Because if you're charging, let's say you're charging the bare minimum. Let's say you're charging 97, 127 a month. Once you hit 20, 25 clients, you're going to be at 5K in monthly recurring revenue. And it's not going to cost you anything additional. The reason for that is once you get those first 25 clients, from there, you're able to turn around and you're able to say, cool, I've got 25 clients. So I've got my monthly recurring revenue. Now I'm going to add in the setup fee. And the setup fee, what I would start with the setup fees, I would start with minimum, like pinching pennies, minimum $500 minimum. It will get to the point where because you're not building just the website, but the CRM and the automations, even though it's a snapshot that you're just tailoring, you can get to the point where you're charging 500 to 1500 for a very simple website. Now, if you were building it on WordPress and you're really doing a full SEO approach, fully optimized, I don't care if you have 0 clients, I don't care if you have 100 clients, you're not doing that for free. Because the minute you build it on WordPress, they could take it and run away. And I explain that when I speak to clients. I say, listen, because I can build this and you can run away from it with it tomorrow, this is my minimum starting fee. And then if you really want to have an idea of pricing, let's say you're like, well, what if I want to do this or that? Because pricing can get crazy, right? With how much different items go into it. The scope can be so specific to a client. Here's what you do: you go to Fiverr, you find people who can do exactly what you're going to do. You get their pricing. You can even message them and be like, hey, what would you charge for this? Like all the details. You message 4 or 5 people, more tenured and beginners, anybody in between. You find their pricing, you average it out, you multiply it times 3. That's your starting price. So if they give you like the weirdest, like I want exactly 8 pages, optimized, this location, these keywords, you take it, Fiverr, here's the details. What would you give me for pricing? Great. Multiply it times 3. That goes to the client. And that way, if they pay it, you can outsource it because you now have an idea of pricing and it's not going to be like, well, one guy told me no, you've talked to 3 or 4 guys. So it's pretty consistent across the board. And then additionally, with that 3x, you're still having to manage that individual, right? So if they don't do well, number one, you cancel the order, you get your money back. But let's say they took the money and run off, which you can't do on Fiverr. But let's say they did, you still have enough money to pay yourself and hire another guy to do it, right? But again, on Fiverr, it's very safe. What if they don't respond back to the audit, but they saw it, and even after a follow up message, they still don't reply? If the audit isn't getting the reply, just move on. And again, and this is assuming like, well, let me back up a little bit. That's where you drop the ultimate downsell. So the ultimate downsell is if you follow me, if you want to follow me on social media, I'll make content fixing any problem you have, telling you exactly what to do for 100% free. And again, I don't want to cover the ultimate downsell too much because we covered it last week, but that's where you're using the ultimate downsell very, very aggressively. Yep, there you go. And then from that point, it's a numbers game, and it's just going to be content and DMs. And then also that long form content has to come into play because you'd be surprised how many people are using social media, especially YouTube, that are older. And then direct offer. I notice you don't have a website. This is going to sound weird. I just built one for you. Want to see? I know this is going to sound weird. I notice you have low reviews. I built you an automation review automation tool, 100% free for the first 30 days, no setup fee. You want to check out and see how it works. You want to see how it's going to put money in your pocket. You want to see how it's going to make you money before I get a cent from you. Just being extremely direct. And these work with, uh, they can work with cold calling as well. We're like, hey, I'm so and so. This is going to sound weird, but I notice you're missing XYZ. Built it out for you. This is going to sound weird. I do marketing. Don't worry, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I notice you're doing this wrong. I would try doing A, B, C, D. Watch the result it makes. Only reason I'm telling you is because I love the content you're making. And if you want, I can always help you out. You can pass it on your marketing team, or I could help you out for you. But either way, just wanted to connect and give you some free advice. So these are still going to work in a cold call setting because it's very direct and to the point. I'm not a fan of cold calling because it usually pisses people off, but it is a way that you can use it. Any other questions so far? No, you're good, Mike. Appreciate you coming out. Look forward to speaking with you one on one later this week. So, what we're going to cover next week is we're going to cover once you get a reply, once you are kind of going into the sales conversation, we're going to go more in depth on the inbound modified close because it's not technically an inbound close, but it is, you're still able to use the same modified close, right? And so for you guys that are on the call in Sales University already, all you have to do is go to module 5, section 5.2. It's the inbound closing framework via DMs. I'm actually going to rename it right now to, we'll call it the modified close because that's more accurate. And I'll put in parentheses via DMs. So that's what we'll cover on the next group call is we'll pick back up from here. We're going to get into how to take them from that reply point to closing them. And again, you guys, if you don't want to wait, I know, Mateo, I know you and Michael are like cranking out the DMs. I love it. You're catching me up to date on that, bring me up to speed on that. Go check out module 5.2 and you'll see the training on the inbound modified close. So that way you don't have to wait for me. But next week we'll go more in depth on the inbound modified close and then pushing to the actual sales conversations. Any final questions or anything before we wrap up today?
No, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And it can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about DMs. It could be about, I don't know, whether where I live or maybe not that. Maybe keep it within marketing and automation. But any questions within that space, let me know.
I have a question. I don't know if it's a quick answer. I don't want to keep you too long.
You good? What's up?
One of the things I wanted to do is kind of help my customers convert. Since they get into less traffic, if they can convert better, I think it'll be helpful. And I was looking at creating some sort of affiliate program for them because nobody does it. They all offer money. I'll give you $50 if you send me a customer, but there's no real tool out there to manage that real well. And I was looking at GHL to do it. It has the affiliate program, but it all requires, or seems to require anyway, a product. And tree services, none of these people are really using the CRM to do their sales. They go, they get their own processor and they're collecting their own sales. They still want to pay the customers and all that stuff, but I don't know how to do it through high level that allows them to track the sale and say, oh yeah, we made a sale off of this one, and this one's tied to Joe Smith who gave us, this lead 2 weeks ago. We want to send him his reward.
Form on the form optional. Did somebody refer you? Put their name and their information. They put that information. Whatever name is put in acts as a tag, and the tag would be affiliate or recommended by or some kind of tag that indicates that it was a word of mouth, right? Even word of mouth, right? And then once that moves to the close stage, you have the guy's name and phone number and email, whatever details that you gather.
Okay, perfect.
And then let's say you don't want to give him the money. Let's say he comes back into the store. Hey, did that guy ever come in? Check, closed, word of mouth tag. Yep, we're gonna give you a discount on your work today because you sent us a client.
Perfect.
Something like right. And again, make it make sense with the client, but that's a really easy way to do it, right? They fill out a form, adds a tag, bam. And for the automation, you would just put like if they fill out this part of the form, right? If it put anything, right, instead of the value being like nothing, it just has something in that field, adds word of mouth tag.
So the tree service has to use the CRM at least minimally to do that. Like, hey, this deal closed. To kind of trigger all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it would just be the form filled out, and then once it moves to close, it would notify you, right?
Yeah. Okay. Nope, I
But
think
yeah,
that'll
that's
work.
where, and this is where here I'll say this point, and then we'll wrap up. That this is where, if you speak to anybody from a very high level, that's not pun intended, but if you speak to anybody who is working with a lot of volume in the high level space, ask them what is the number one thing that you've seen that makes a difference between the good and the bad agencies, right? I asked the affiliate guys at high level. I've asked people who do services, white label services with high level, and every person I've ever asked, this is what they tell me every single time: don't sell the software, sell the service with the software. So a lot of people tell you don't sell the service, sell the solution. Yes, high level, we all know sell high level as a solution. Nothing new, right? What they were saying is they're saying take it a step further. The software becomes a service. And now the service becomes the solution. Yes, but it's no longer software is the solution, but service is the solution. So what that would look like is all of your clients, you have a centralized communication platform, which you can build out in a high level community. You can build out in a Facebook group. You can have support tickets, right? And so instead of them doing anything, now they message you to do it, and then you can even tag a VA with them who does more of the work with them, right? They just message the VA and the VA does it for them. And then you're able to very quickly charge more because now instead of the software being 97, and I always use 97 for reference just because it's the cheapest one and nobody can say like, oh, well, you charge 297. I'm a beginner. I have to charge 97. So I always use 97 as the example. So
Mhm.
instead of them saying 97, now it's like, cool, I can very confidently now charge 297 a month because now they're getting a secretary or assistant or handheld support done for you service in some way, shape, or form at 297.
Yeah, I like that. I don't want to have to teach them how to use a CRM.
And that is what I do. All of my clients, they message me, they message me on Facebook or WhatsApp, and we handle it. I don't let them. It's not that I don't let them touch it. I just don't want them to.
Yeah,
So my client is traveling. He was in I don't remember where he was. He was somewhere in East Asia. I want to say Thailand maybe. And he's like, "Hey, can we change this?" Shoots me a text, send it to the team, changed. Versus him having to hop in and there's a new update and there's a new visual because labs updated and how do I do this and does this work right? And then you pull it open and they accidentally delete the whole website. You're like, right?
yeah, yeah. No,
So
I don't let them. No one even knows it exists.
right, right. But now what you can do is now you can have them message you. And so that's a nice piece too, especially if you're going to the agitation where you're like, listen, like the example we saw, they built the website and then the company shut down, or they built the website and that's all they're doing. Why should I pay you 97 a month? I can get a website for 27 a month. Yeah, you pay me 97 a month because we do everything for you. At 297, we do everything for you. We do SEO check-ins, whatever, and GMB optimization. At 797, at 997, we do SEO for you as well. Or instead of SEO at 997, you get your own VA. At 1997, you get SEO and the VA. At 3,500, you get a full SEO structure where you're never having to spend money on variable ads again, where it's extremely aggressive SEO. And you don't go in straight for the 390, the higher ticket, but that's the ascension model, right?
Yeah, I think J-Tail is really perfect for all that. It's building it up, like you said. It's just keep. Oh yeah, you need this feature, you need that feature. You don't have to sell them all at one time, but
Right. And
eventually,
and for them, they'll say, "Well, can we do this task?" And now instead of you saying, "Well, that's workflows and automations and triggers and trigger links and templates," and no, it's like, "Can we do this one task?" They don't realize how much goes into it, right? Because that would like make their mind explode. Just like we don't understand. Like if you tell me to go cut down a tree, good luck. That tree's going to be there forever, right? So that's where when you say, "Can you come cut down the tree?" They don't say, "Well, I got to drive there. I got to load the lawn. I got to load up the chainsaw with this, and I got to do this. I got to make sure the blade's sharp. I got to." They just say, "Yeah, we'll come cut it down." Right? Solution over everything else. They don't say, "Hey, here's the chainsaw. Go do it yourself." No, I would have gone to Lowe's and got my own. Right?
yep, true. Very good,
So
sir. Appreciate it.
yeah, I'll go ahead and wrap up the call.